My words is my shirt with his name, is my little homage to somebody that wrote the most beautiful history of the Premier League, somebody that probably would deserve the Leicester Stadium to be named Claudio Ranieri and dissect. So I think Leicester made history 2 years in a row. 1 year because they did the most beautiful thing in the Premier League and one of the most beautiful histories in football history. And now they are also in the highlights with a decision that I think has everyone in football united, because it's something very, very difficult to accept, but at the same time is good for all of us to realize how football is at the time, and we need to adapt. We need to adapt to it. I thought last season when I was sacked as a champion, I thought was a giant negative thing. Now I realize that was peanuts compared with what happened to Claudio. So my Instagram was a little homage. My shirt is another one, and I don't think he needs more homages, because nobody can delete what he did. And if some of the stories that I'm reading are true or have just a little bit of true, it's difficult to find words to justify that, but it's also something that we managers we have to be ready to cope with.
Very sad because this is our job, and for sure I'm disappointed for him, because first he's a friend, he's a really good man, and he's a really good manager. Only one season ago he won the title with the club, with the players. He reached a dream to win the title. For sure I'm disappointed as friend and as coach.
Will you get a chance to speak to him maybe, or text him, or in the next few days?
For sure. But now I think it's better to wait. It's better to wait, because I understand the situation. I understand his frustration for this. But for sure, I'll call him, and it's natural after this type of situation to talk and to show him also my disappointment for this decision, because I think it's a very strong decision.
Am I surprised that things like this can happen? No. It's not only football. For me, there's a few strange decisions in 16, 17, Brexit, Trump, Ranieri. Understand it all the time? No, obviously not. It happens still. So I have no idea why Leicester was doing this. Everybody can see the situation in the league. Everybody can see the situation in the Champions League, but we are not in. So he's a really special person in this business. So I have to say, though, he's really a nice guy. I met him before when he visited me at Dortmund, and we had a nice talk. Wonderful, person, I have to say. So but I don't know enough. You have to go to Leicester to the press conference and ask them why they did it. But does it change a lot for us? Not sure. We will see. But we don't know what we should expect, but we didn't know before. I told already in the beginning of the week, I think that Leicester probably now knows exactly what the problem is, and we should always expect the best Leicester, so best Leicester City, and who saw the Champions League game and who saw the reaction after they scored. There were two different games, before they scored, after they scored, and so yeah, obviously they needed this goal to get confidence back. 15 minutes, completely different game, so we have to think about this side, and yeah, that's difficult enough.
Really disappointed for Claudio, because I think for managers, I think now it's put in perspective that you can win the Premier League and you go 3 quarters of next season not doing so well and you can lose your job. So if you ask me, I would say really sad for Claudio. I think it's a disappointing day for managers all around the world, wherever you go, if this is what can happen.
Yeah, does it, and news like this, as you say, so soon after winning the Premier League title, does it give managers like yourself time to reflect when you're driving in this morning and just kind of think about the position you guys are in?
Yeah, but it also made me think how lucky I was to do 11 years at one club, and how few people will maybe get to do that. I know that obviously Sir Alex, Arsene Wenger, I think the people who've been given the jobs were people like Brian Clough, Sir Bobby Robson. There's not many others who've been allowed real long stints at the clubs, but I think the ones who have shown that it's tended to work, and it's been better for the clubs to do so.
You've got to be focused on the next game. You know, in management, it turns so quickly. You know, you've got to absolutely be focused on the next game and the next game. You can't take your foot off the pedal. And I'm afraid that if you do that, if you start to get relaxed or take things for granted, it's the worst game in the world for kicking you up the backside, this game. And, you know, I'm disappointed for the manager. I'm disappointed for Leicester, really, because it was, you know, and it has been a tremendous year for them. And what they've achieved, and, you know, let's be fair, there's still 13 games to go. They could still have a run of games and finish mid-table, and they could still get through to the next round of the Champions League, which again would be a remarkable season.
But first of all, your reaction to the news, were you shocked as everyone else? He got the vote of confidence a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I was shocked and disappointed. I think knowing Claudio as I do, you know, his public persona is very much his private persona. I've got a lot of time for him. Really great guy, real gentleman, very positive person, and to see him lose his job in the manner that he has, I think is very sad, considering everything he did last season, the historic achievements that he and his team were able to do. To find himself in this position now is very sad.
Does it taint the Leicester story, the Leicester fairy tale, the fact that he's not been able to make it even to the end of the next season?
I don't know. I don't think it taints his story at all. I mean, he's still the manager that led them to the league, and I think he will always be remembered for that historic achievement, and rightly so.
And for the manager that comes in, a tough task on his hands, you would have thought?
Yeah, I think any time a new manager comes in the Premier League at this time of the season, it is a very difficult job.
Can you understand Leicester's point of view? I mean, they're looking at the owners are looking around thinking, oh, we were champions last year, we have to do something.
And it's very difficult for me to judge the decision from their perspective. I'm just looking at it from Claudio's.
I think I was surprised about that one more than any other dismissal this year. I think that we all accept that you don't get long these days, but I think that on the basis of what happened last season, I think the result at Seville, you know, I thought that, and the vote of confidence ended up becoming the dreaded vote of confidence again. So yes, a great shame that his reign at Leicester's come to an end with such history-making events last year that for me will never be, in my lifetime or for a long time, ever be repeated again by a team with the resources that they had to actually win the Champions League, the Premier League by 10 points. But then, of course, you see the downside of perhaps a squad playing in the Champions League that's not used to it, and what the fallout is. So for me, it's a great shame. What a fantastic job he did at Leicester.
Like everybody else, shocked, disappointed for the man. It seems like winning doesn't secure you anything anymore. You know, it's kind of a weird one. You know, he won the manager of the year.